Hi, I'm Sergio. Let's see how to create this amazing looking Heraldic Lily in Blender. Let's get started. Okay, so here we go. We open up Blender, and first of all let's set up our reference plane and our studio for modeling. Let's go here in the viewport and turn off this I button on the light and on the cameras to turn off in viewport display these kind of objects. Let's hit 7 on numpad area on your keyboard to assign reference plane. I use these reference planes I just found on the internet. These reference planes are provided in the reference link below this tutorial video. You can find it there. So just drag and drop this right in top view, straight in top view, and after that right here on this right panel on object properties, let's set 0 and here is 0 to set it correct position to align it the object data properties, and let's decrease a bit size up to 1 meter for example, something like this. Select this cube and hit X on keyboard to delete that. By the way, pay attention to turn off and on orthographic and perspective view, hitting 5 on your numpad area on keyboard. For example, now orthographic is much more useful. Select this plane, image plane, and also turn on this transparency and make it much more transparent like this. Double click on this right here, scene collection, and call it for example like reference. Hit Shift A and select here cube, hit tab to switch to modeling, hit S and make it smaller like this. Click on this guy and select X-ray to make it much transparent like this. Decrease a bit this value. Select 3 to go to polygon mode. Select this face, hit N on keyboard, and just on axis as the mirror axis, just that 0 like this. And after that hit X to delete it. We need to synchronize and refine our whole model that is just a box for now according to our reference plane like this. Hit G and hit Z to align it along the up axis like this. Hit 1 for example and continue, hit Z, and we can just set the 0 straight up to this Z axis. Go to 7 and make some adjustments, switching between 1, this is vertices 2, this is edges 3, this is polygons. To modify this whole model on the different types of geometry. For example, let's hit to 1 vertices and hit 7 to go to top view. Hit G and hit X to align it along the X axis like this. Or if you do not hold any axis Y or Z axis on your keyboard, that wouldn't be aligned along the specific axis, so something like this. But for now we're trying to make it much straight and with aligned option. So G, then hit the Z axis like X and make it much straight and line up like this. And after that, Ctrl R. If you scrolling your middle mouse button, you can adjust additional section until you doesn't click on your geometry. For now we're using just one section, just one partition like this. So if it not too much section, then it's much possible to modify gradually the whole geometry. like this. Add another partition and align it, making some refinements like this. So the next steps, we're just hitting Ctrl R to add another additional partitions and make some adjustments to whole geometry to make it looking like our reference plane. As much uniform, then better for modeling. This is one of the most concepts we should follow too. Switch to polygon mode. When we want to extrude our desired polygon, just hit E on your keyboard, E, and just to add another partitions and other extrusions like this. Okay. Here add another sections like this. So we continue our refinements to geometry, and here is the top to refine it, and let's figure how this bird to fit. Here we can, by the way, add another partition. Or edges to keep our main polygons following like this. Making this to adjust a bit our uniform of desired polygons like this. Go to vertices and adjust them like this. Now it's time to add mirror modifier. Go to polygon and make another partitions. Continue our modifications and refining the whole geometry. Ctrl R. Something like this. We're assuming to grow out this another branch like this. Go to vertices, make some adjustments like this. And right here. Like this. Here is the bottom and here is the top. We're trying not to make them just straight. We're trying to make them a bit with chamfer or something like this. This is again much better for the subdivision surfaces in the future when we're applying that modifier. Let's go to polygon, hit E, and continue adjustments. So switching between our sub-objects mode to make correct positions to all parts of geometry, like this. So we're slicing out geometry. This is a main concept we should follow too. Like this. Let's make this cross section like this. And adding like this right here. Make some alignments. Don't forget, this is really floating, really beveled and smooth curved geometry, so try to keep it in mind to make it better for the smoother results and stuff like this. Turn off like this, and keep in mind that along the geometry axis we don't need these polygons, so just select them and delete like this. Let's go to wireframe, hit in viewport Z and select wireframe mode to adjust our geometry. Continue refining a bit like this, and along the symmetry axis let's make it much higher. Like this. Hold down Shift to add another sub-objects or objects to the selection, and delete from selection just as well, holding down our Shift. Like so. Okay. Turn on again our mirror modifier, and let's assign above of it subdivision surface, and let's check how this is smoothing out. Let's the top subdivision modifier viewport up to top subdivision, then more this parameter, then more this smoothing out. Let's go to solid by hitting Z and select solid view like this. Let's turn off for some time X-ray mode, so now we can see how this smoothing out, and we can see this is some straight polygons along the whole surface. And now let's add much smoother polygons right here. So as you can see, this is now really straight and smoothing and displaying in this viewport. So let's go straight to polygon mode by hitting 3. Hit A to select all polygons of the mesh. Right mouse button viewport, and let's select shade smooth. So now as you can see, much smoother. Let's turn on our X-ray parameter. And increase it a bit. For now, this is smoothing quite good. By the way, let's make some refinements to adjust it. Along our reference plane, along the whole silhouette. Should be something like this. Something like this. Only here, by the way, we can add another segment like this. And make it like this for now. And also we're trying on our original mesh to make it as much good looking as it's possible, so just keep it in mind, okay? And let's add another segments, which should be our hard edges, to allow the correct topology of the whole mesh. Here should be much straight, so we add by hitting Ctrl R another segment, another loop along the bottom side. I assume this should be something like this. So we're making some kind of adjustments. And here, by the way, maybe a bit smaller. And between Y and Z axis, another adjustments. So we adjust our whole geometry in different projections. Don't forget about this widget right here. This is the move tool, which is equal to the when we're just hitting G. This is the same, just visualizing the specific axes. Making some elevation, make it upper and upper. Something like this. Refining our geometry, like so. And from this projection as well, let's select this guy. To snap camera rotation to the specific selected sub-objects, let's hit delete on your numpad. Don't forget about that. So now rotation point snapped right to the selected vertices. This is really useful, so keep it in mind and use it. Just like this. And like this. Let's select our all really very bottom polygons. In the front view, for example, select like this, hit delete on numpad to adjust snapping on the selected, and make, let's make inset by hitting Y on your keyboard to make it like this. This closest polygons and our edges will be working like hard edges along the whole surface when it's subdividing by subdivision surface modifier. This is really cool looking. And this straight line of the polygons for now is useless for us. We don't need this flat area, such kind of hard edges, so we just select this, go to this polygon, hold down Control and hit left mouse button, hit X and delete it like this. And now we need to move the whole this range of edges right to the symmetry axis like this. Select this by holding Control, and right here let's set to 0 to align it along the x-axis. Go to 1, which is vertices, and adjust them like this. To make our mesh much variable, let's add another partition like this. Oh yeah, by the way, let's turn off for now our X-ray mode to allow us see the whole mesh much better. Like this. Let's go to wireframe right here and select it like this. Let's make along of this some kind of bevel to add some nice looking flat arch. Select this as well. Hit Ctrl B, scroll up and scroll down middle mouse button to make it like so. Let's make in edge mode some adjustments to the geometry like this, moving some objects, switching between different sub-objects like vertices and edges, and like this. Turn off again. Double click on this in the corner. Ctrl B. And make it looking like this. This is non-quad polygon, which could be really good to split out by hitting K like this and like this, and hit enter to complete, and adjust new sub-objects. Make some adjustments, hit K, okay, let's turn on subdivision surface. Could be useful to add another hard edges like this right here. Continue with next steps. Shift A, add new cube, hit tab, hit S and scale it down. Just like this. Let's turn on our X-ray to make it transparent. Hit 3 and go to polygon mode, Z-axis by 0. So, almost the same way as the main part, we need to make some refinements and adjustments to the whole geometry to the depth, in other words, yeah. Let's go to 7 on numpad. And align it, make some adjustments like this. First of all, it's really rough, should be a rough block out. The main only the main shapes, you know? Like this. Go to poly mode, go to E on your keyboard, go to 1 to modify it on vertices mode. Go to polygon, extrude again. So switching between polygons and between vertices to modify and complete the overall shape. Extrude again. So extruding, making the really raw blackout for now. And next step, we will modify the result geometry after that. Like this. Pretty fast. Ctrl R, for example. Let's make here some adjustments. Rotating. At this point we are going to make some rotation, the overall polygon like this. Yeah, extruding again like this, like this. Like this. Extrude again. Make rotations like this. Here we will use Ctrl R to add another subdivisions. Ctrl R here as well. So we make some adjustments like this for now. Okay, so here we go. This should be good fit for now. Select this, move it, rotate it. Go to vertices, make some adjustments again. Like this, go to vertices, and like this. Pretty rough, pretty blackout, pretty overall shape, you know. Make partitions separated like this. Make it much uniform as it's possible. Like this. And like this. Oh yeah, and for sure, let's make sure about our according our reference plane. Yeah, sure, like this. Something like this. Refine it. Let's make some adjustments right here. To add another segments. It's pretty useful command add new loops by Ctrl R. Ctrl R. Like so. Oops. Blocking out the overall shape like this. And here is this bottom part, and here and here. Pretty useful, pretty simple in fact. Refining like so. Let's make sure about modular right here, so don't forget they should be as much as it's possible to be much modular and the same modular system. I mean, in average the same scale. Go to polygons, hit A on keyboard and shade smooth to make it smoother, and move it down a bit like so. Makes them much consistent to each other. And let's add mirror. Let's select this button, hit I on your keyboard and make some additional hard edges at the top. Go to polygon, select this top. Let's scale it down them a bit like this. Let's go to top and make adjustments. Move them. Let's go to edge. Let's go to edge mode. And combining this with modifying geometry in vertices mode as well, like this. We can switch between orthographic, top, and other projections, perspective, and we will be allow to modify in different projections from different angles of view. And make adjustments to make them look much consistent to each other. Much similar, much consistent, and don't forget we're trying to make them looking much more modular and the same scale as is possible. Save it out. Don't forget to save out our current work. As always, making adjustments like this. Handle modifications as well, like this. and here. Like this. Select this vertex and hold down Ctrl and add to Ctrl Shift and click left mouse button on this vertex, and we will select this way our specific desired loop range of vertices, and let's move it up a bit like this. Select few vertices, move them up a bit, something like this, starting to move. While you're moving, scrolling up, scrolling down, you can see the brush of the influences of this proportional editing. So then the big radius of this brush, then the bigger influence. So we need to make adjustments to this to make it not so big. For example, then let's select those like this and like this, for example. So turn off proportional editing right here and make some adjustments by handle without proportional, without any additional influences right there, to make it much straight like this. And here. Move those to down a bit, like this, something like this. Should be a good fit, I think. And from this side as well, like this. This nearby vertices, and move it like so. Let's make it by a few steps. Should be good fit. It's better to bevel them and chamfer these parts separately. Should be a good fit. Like this. By Ctrl B to make a bevel. While we bevel these vertices, let's scroll up and scroll down. So in our case, we scroll up to make additional partitions like there. And from this side as well. Ctrl B, make some nice bevel right here. It's already with additional partition. Check subdivision modifier on this stuff. Turn off X-ray. Let's check. Set viewport to subdivisions. Like this. And like this. Hit K and make it like so. Hit enter to complete the desired operation. From this side to this. Like this. Let's check it. And move them a bit as well. Like this. And like this. Let's make adjustments. Like this. Hold down Ctrl and Shift and select them in few steps. Like so. Ctrl B. Okay. So should be like this. Okay, and let's make this little bridge between all of these parts. Shift A. Let's add another cube. Hit Tab. Scale it down. Scale it down again. Move it. Select polygon. Hit X. Delete that. Let's Z0 this symmetry axis. Like this, and after that we delete this and Z it by 0 to by Z by 0. Go to top view, and scale by Y and make some adjustments. Different object modes. It should be higher on all of these parts. Go to object mode and let's make it once a mirror. Okay. Let's make some adjustments. Like this. Like this. To make it looking much variable. At this point. Should be looking something like this. It's more good. Ctrl R. Let's make here another partition. Like this. This. And modify it in side view. Like this. Make here some partitions. Let's make adjustments from another side views, like this. Handle, some handle modifications. Like so. So here we go. Let's make hard edges at the top by hitting Y and make it like this. Right here we just delete those. Go to edge and by X make it by 0. Like this. Should be looking like this. Ctrl R. Oops, not here. And move it almost bottom. Like this. Should be much smoother, so we don't need to add a lot of hard edges at this part. So also I think it's time to check it how it's smoothing out. By the way, let's select these polygons and make them shade smooth like this, and add subdivision surface like this. Okay, turn off our X-ray mode. I think this is could be a bit thicker. Go to polygon mode and hit S and scale it up by Y, like so. And by the way, in H we can also to modify a bit. Let's make it this pop up a bit like this. Yeah, looking good. And in vertices mode, let's move these. Let's move these guys a bit to make them much smoother and looking much variable, like so. And by the way, let's make another partitions to the different parts of this Heraldic Lily, because we always keep in mind that this is really good when we achieve results, which allows us to have the good uniform topology on all subdivision iterations, on first step of subdivision, on second step, and another. So we just need to add some additional subdivisions like this. It's smoothing out good, but for first step would be good to have some additional partitions. Control right here. Make like so. And make them in average in the same scale. Control R right here. Make refinements all of these new vertices. Like this. Move it down a bit like so. Move here to give this consistency. And make here by hitting K, cut it out. Like so, and hit enter. Move these vertices and this. double click this, hold down shift, double click this, and make the same this side, and Ctrl B, make it like this. And now let's make additional cut here. Hit K and hit enter to complete this. So now this should looking like this. Then double click this and make Ctrl B as well, like this. Let's check it in smoothing. So looks good. And let's make some adjustments and refine and this subdivision part. X-ray. This side overall. Ctrl R. Move it like so. And move it by sub-objects. Like this and like this. If needed, we can relate it. So here we go. Let's check in low poly and first iteration of subdivision. So our geometry looking like this. I would say this is really nice geometry for the first iteration of subdivision. That should be good in some distance. And let's check it when we tune on our subdivision surface modifier and how does it look like. So just make sure. So with new additional subdivisions, it's looking really good with really nice smoothing, hard edges, really good. Oh yeah, by the way, we can a bit move this up, just a bit, to avoid some intersections, or this Z file like at bottom, just a bit, slightly like this, just a bit as well. Turn off X-ray. So here we go. What we got here? Really nice looking Heraldic Lily. So hope you like this tutorial, like this video, subscribe, don't forget about that, and see you in the next videos.